am Bai Abbas and my program is medical biology. So as a pre-med student, I realized that math isn't often visible in numbers, but instead in the application of logic and reasoning in our future profession. Oftentimes as a doctor, math is actually used as a language. Diagnosing a patient can be a matter of life or death. It is imperative that there is a systematic deductive reasoning for diagnosing a patient. Here comes in propositional calculus and mathematical reasoning. Propositional calculus maps symptoms such that a patient has a fever, a patient has rashes. From there, we can connect these symptoms and say that the patient has fever and rashes. In mathematical reasoning, we treat these symptoms as proof, which can then lead us to a certain conclusion that minimizes error and maximizes the possible outcomes. Furthermore, if we were to apply the social choice theories, it's also helpful for the large-scale operations in healthcare, which can then be used to acquire the fair hospital protocols that we now have for all our patients. At first, it can be easy to overlook these applications. In fact, I found it hard to apply it to my course the first time, until I understood it comprehensively. Although I usually have a hard time with mathematics, I find that no topic in math is too hard to understand if you can see its practical application, which for me, I saw. I especially liked our lessons in finance, especially as a young adult who is still learning to handle her money well. All in all, my experience in this course was challenging, exciting, and full of learning.
In relation to my legal course, I was, at an early period of my law journey, taught that money should not be the goal I have in mind if I ever choose this course, but rather because of my passion and the people I am able to affect. That's why expanding my knowledge in growing my money through investments helps me fill the gap of one of my dreams, which is to be able to give my family a comfortable life. Through investments, I am able to understand better how to analyze the capital market and how to best invest my hard-earned money to help make the economy move and also receive high returns. Understanding different types of bank accounts helped me understand how to set up my financial structure to be secured in the expenses that I will soon incur, such as taxes, expenses for my children, and other future uncertainties that will help me stay secure even with inflation. Moreover, when dealing with the outcomes my clients face, I may use game theory to analyze which option is the best for my client when all legal remedies are exhausted. As exactly illustrated by the prisoner's dilemma, I may also use the matrix taught to me to ensure that I am able to present all possible options to my client and advise him on the best course of action. Lastly, in the law field, time is always of the essence, because as simple as being a minute late can tip the favor of the presiding judge as it shows my character and respect to the court, or worse, be outright thrown in favor to the opposition. By learning how to compute the shortest path, I am able to shave time off and travel as efficiently as possible in this car-centric metropolitan area where traffic is everywhere. For me, I found math for efficiency the most difficult, as it really tested my ability to understand mathematical concepts. Even though I found math in itself difficult, I found every other chapter of the course easier to understand because of the way you taught us. I would describe this course as challenging, interesting, and analytical.
Hi everyone, my name is Mary Claire Solomon. Looking back on everything we've learned in mathematics in the modern world, I can honestly say that this course has changed the way I see mathematics. Before this class, I thought math was mostly about solving equations, memorizing formulas, and getting the correct answer. But as the term went on, I realized that mathematics is a way of thinking that helps us solve real-life problems, make better decisions, and even recognize the hidden patterns that exist all around us. One topic that really caught my attention was linear programming under mathematics for efficiency. At first, I assumed it was just another lesson involving graph and calculations, but I soon discovered that it's actually about making the best possible decision when resources are limited. Linear programming provides a logical way to determine the most effective solution. Another lesson that I found meaningful was the maximum and minimum problems. This topic made me realize that optimization plays a bigger role in our daily lives. Every day we try to save time, reduce costs, or achieve the best possible outcome from our choices. Even simple decisions like planning our schedule or choosing the shortest route to school involve the same idea. As someone studying in medical biology, I can already see how optimization is useful in healthcare and scientific research, where finding the most effective approach can improve patient care and experimental results. This lesson reminded me that mathematics help us make thoughtful decisions based on logic rather than assumption. Aside from that, I also really enjoyed learning about the Fibonacci sequence because it revealed a completely different side of mathematics. Before this lesson, I simply viewed it as a sequence of numbers. I never expected it to appear in flowers, pine cones, seashell, and even the arrangement of leaves and plants like the rosette pattern. I was also fascinated to learn that artists, architects, and designers often use these mathematical patterns to create balance and beauty in their work, such as the frieze and wallpaper patterns. This topic made me appreciate how mathematics connects science, nature, and arts in ways that are both practical and visually inspiring. Since then, I've started to notice notice these patterns in everyday life, which has made me appreciate my surroundings even more. I'd say the GMS journey has been challenging but creative and practical.
Hi, my name is GEMATMW, and over the course of a term, mathematics in the modern world has changed my perspective on how I analyze daily life. One lesson that stood out to me was borrowing under mathematics and finance. Before learning this topic, I knew that loans involved paying interest, but I didn't fully understand how borrowing affects the total amount that has to be repaid over time. As a student who will hopefully become financially independent, I think this lesson is very important because it encourages me to think carefully before borrowing money or using installment plans. It reminded me that making informed financial decisions today can help avoid unnecessary debt in the future. It also made me realize that many people borrow not because they want to, but because of unexpected situations, like financial needs. Another lesson I enjoyed was patterns and isometries. At first I thought it was simply about geometric transformations, but I was surprised to realize how often patterns appear in everyday life. They can be seen in architecture, paintings, floor design, and clothing, and even digital graphics. This lesson made me appreciate that mathematics is present in many things we normally overlook. It also reminded me that recognizing patterns is an important skill, not only in math, but also in learning, solving problems, and making observations in everyday situations. I also found fractals around us very interesting because it showed how mathematics exists naturally in the world. Seeing fractal patterns in trees, leaves, coastlines, and other natural objects made me appreciate how organized and interconnected nature can be. It changed the way I looked at my surroundings because I now notice mathematical patterns in places where I never expected them. This lesson made math feel less abstract and more connected to the real world. Overall, these lessons changed my perspective on math. Instead of seeing it as a subject that only involves calculations, I now see it as a practical way of thinking that helps us make better decisions, appreciate the world around us, and understand real-life situations more thoughtfully.